We're doing dessert today. Puff pastry, cream puff dough, crystallized orange rind. And even when I do dessert, puff pastry particularly, I don't like to waste anything. And even with the little trimming, you can use that dough to make these puff pastry sticks, very crisp and sugary, as well as those other cookies. This is how I made them. Begin by rolling out puff pastry dough on a work surface sprinkled with plenty of sugar. Roll it so that both sides are covered with sugar. To make pig's ear, cut a piece of the dough and roll it into a rectangle, which is no more than like a quarter of an inch thick. Then with your finger, fold each side of the thin part of the dough toward the center. When they reach each other, fold one over the other again, and then cut the dough into half-inch pieces and shape them into pig's ear. Place them on a non-stick baking sheet. You can make any shape for cookies. Place on a cookie sheet and bake in 400-degree oven for about 10 minutes until crisp and brown. Delicious. And now I'm going to make more classic dessert from France. From easy to elegant, this is essential Pépin. Today we're doing dessert. All kind of dessert. Puff pastry, cream puff dough. We're going to start with a crystallized puff paste of orange. We're going to do choux à la crème, chocolate Paris-Brest. But first, I have to show you how to make puff paste. Puff paste is a complicated dough, one of the ones which is very flaky. You know, we call that millefeuille in France, 1,000 leaves. And it's done by layer of dough and layer of butter in it. There is a classic way of doing it. I'm going to show you a way slightly easier. There is 2 or 3 different ways of doing it. Mine, I have some flour here. I have a pound of flour that I'm putting, and we are doing what we call la détrempe here, which is the base of the pastry. And the base of the pastry is made with a dash of sugar, a little dash of salt, and about 8 to 10 ounces of water. The water, it's always difficult depending whether your flour is very dry, whether you live in Colorado Springs or whether you live in Houston, Texas, you're going to have moisture in your flour. So here I would start with like a cup of ice cold water, or cold water in there, and see where it gets me. And I want it really to all together good. I think I could have another ounces or so. Another couple of tablespoons, maybe at the most. Okay. And this, of course, you can do in the food processor as well as in a mixer as well as by hand. This is the base of any puff paste to start with. Now, in a very classic puff paste, you take the same weight, you take a pound of butter, and you do that into a square. You put a square of butter upon, and you fold the corner and start rolling it. In this, I have done it slightly different. I am taking stick of butter here, and I don't have a pound, I have 3/4 of a pound. And each one of them, I'm cutting it into like 4 pieces. So I have 12 ounces of butter here. Now I'm going to roll that bread dough, if you want, into a rectangle. Pastry, you know, I mean, especially puff pastry, it's not that it's that complicated to do, but it takes time because you have to let the dough rest in between. As soon as you have water going onto the flour, that will swell up the protein in the flour, what we call the gluten, and that gets tough. And the more you work it, the tougher it gets. So you just have to wait in between to let it rest. Now what I'm doing here, I'm doing a rectangle about half inch thick. And on that rectangle, I'm going to arrange my butter. I don't want to go totally to the edge because I need maybe 4. We'll go there. 2, 3, 4. I probably should be a bit closer here. I want to cover 2/3 of the dough so that I have 1/3 of the dough with nothing on it. Should about this. Okay. So that third of the dough with nothing on it, I will put it on top. So I already have layer of dough and layer of fat. Then I fold it in half again and seal the top. Now this is the principle of puff paste. You do the base with water and flour. And then you roll it. After 6 turns, we put it into the oven. The liquid in the bread dough develops into steam, but it's kind of waterproof with the layer of butter, so it starts pushing up into the multi-layer effect that you have in Napoleon, vol au vent, and so forth, which is made with puff paste. So here I have almost a turn here, because, as you can see, I have already folded a layer of butter in between. So now I'm going to roll it again to about ½ inch, approximately. Now you want to have butter in between, and you want to put flour, but when you fold it, you don't really want to have the flour in between. You don't want it to get wet. Now you could see, if you look closely, at the layer of butter which are getting thinner here. So I go 1/3 here. I want to brush my flour, make sure that this adhere well, and put the other one here. Adhere well, so as you can see here, it's 1, 2, 3. I see how the dough is, again, depending on the humidity, where you are and all that. If I feel that the dough is still usable, then I'll give it another turn now. But I can feel, as I'm doing it now, that the dough is getting elastic. And there is no problem there. You put it in the refrigerator, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. The dough is very easy again. The gluten relax. That is, the protein relax, the gluten, and then it's easy to roll again. So here I'm really forcing it a little bit, which you really shouldn't. Again, make sure you have some flour underneath, because if you crush it forward and crush the whole thing, then you crush the butter mix into the flour. You want it to slide. Again. And as you can see, very often on the dough, you may go from the center and push this way, come back without applying pressure, and apply pressure this way. You don't want to go back and forth. So now I had done like a little bit of a turn. Now I'm doing another turn. So I do 2 turns. I had already 1. So I need at least another 2 or 3 turns here. So I put it in the refrigerator. And to remember, that dough got 3 turns actually. So I put 3 dots there. That for me is a reminder. Now it goes into the refrigerator, 20 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours. Doesn't really matter at that point, but at least 15, 20 minutes to relax. Now I have a piece of dough which is 6 turns, which is relaxed, which has been in the refrigerator for a while. So now, when it's the way it should be, then you can start using your dough. And maybe more than any other type of dough, you can extend a puff paste a lot. You know, when you do a sweet dough, for example, like for cookie, you cannot have it very, very thin. You pick it up, it breaks. In addition, when you do a cookie dough, it's kind of porous, so the heat goes through. The puff paste, with 1 pound of puff paste, you'll probably 3 times what you do with a regular cookie dough. Yeah, so here I have about, I don't know, I have a little piece of puff paste. Here, certainly not even half a pound. Now it's relaxed, and as you can see, I would cut it to the extent at which it's maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe at the most, maybe not even. So here we're going to do some orange dessert with it, about that size. So I'm going to cut that here. And as you can see, as I cut it, the dough shrink a little bit. But here, I'm going to have this one. This one, cut a couple. I will mark the outside to do an edge. So that when it's cooked, I have a little bit of a border. I can also crystallize it by putting a bit of sugar on top of it, which I can do this way. I can even put sugar underneath, you know, that's nice too. And actually, you can even put a little bit of beaten egg, you know, a wash, what we call a wash. But if I do that, I should have done that before I do the sugar. I do the wash and the sugar on top of it. Again, you finish rolling it. It should stay for a little while in your refrigerator before you put it in the oven. Even in the freezer, it's fine from the freezer. That should go into the oven about 15 minutes, like 400 degrees. As you can see, my puff paste is totally crystallized now, very firm. And it go up, you know, quite a lot from about 1/8 of an inch, and it's very, very, you know, dry the way it should be. So this one, I could either cut this, as I say, remove it. In fact, I will maybe do it. We use that as a cover, as a lid, you know, like this. Just want to show you that to show you the quality of a puff paste, which is done with those tiny, tiny leaves, you know. But in our case here, instead of putting it on top, we're leaving it inside and crushing it actually to do a base, you know, a thick base like this. Okay. I'm putting a pastry cream on top of it. This is a regular crème pâtissière, so-called pastry cream, which is done with egg yolk, milk, classic recipe, and a dash of vanilla. Arrange those on top in a pinwheel fashion. A little bit of orange marmalade plus apricot. I think it's a little too thick. Take a little bit of that juice to dilute it. That's it. And you can do that, of course, with a brush or extending it with a spoon as I am here. And that's absolutely delicious. Maybe I'll put a little sprig of mint in the center of this. And this is the crystallized puff paste of orange. I'm going to do choux à la crème now, you know, cream puff with cream, with whipped cream in it, just like my mother used to do. And first, I'm going to do the cream puff dough. Nothing to do with puff paste. Cream puff dough, people tend to confuse. This is a very different thing. You can do that with milk, as I have here, or with water, one or the other. I have 3/4 of a cup of milk here, a little dash of salt, and about 3 tablespoons of butter or so. And I can do quite a lot with this. So you want that to melt together, to come to a boil, and then you want to put your flour. I have 3/4 of a cup of flour. Always the same amount of flour than liquid. Liquid, as I say, can be water or milk. Wait until the butter melts. Now the secret of this is that don't try to put your flour slowly. When it's at that point here, you have to dump the flour in one stroke, as I do here, and work it out with a sturdy spoon, like that big wooden spoon that I have here. And work it out into a thick mixture. See, the mixture will kind of lift itself off the bowl practically. I will cook that now 15, 20 seconds or so, or maybe half a minute to dry it out a little bit. See, this is really soft. Usually you mix your eggs. I remember showing that to my wife 45 years ago when we were first married. And I said to mix the eggs in it, and she did, but put her eggs in there. This is way too hot. It cooked the eggs, made a mess out of the thing. And when I came back, I got yelled at. I mean, of course, it was my fault. The point is here. You have to take it out, mix it in another bowl. We are going to do it in the food processor anyway. There, what I will do is make it turn a little bit. For me, I'm doing that just to cool off the dough a little bit. I don't want to cook my eggs. So now I need 3 eggs. And of course, in the food processor, I can put all of the eggs together, which I couldn't do by hand. Now, when apparently they say 1 egg, when it's taken the 2nd egg, when it's taken the 3rd one. But we didn't have beautiful machine like this. Okay. And I don't really think that my mother, again, ever used pastry bag. You know, we use a spoon and a bag, because conventionally that often, for like profiterole and all that, you use a pastry bag. But here I'm going to do it home style, just with a spoon, you know. And conventionally, you top it with a glaze. And the glaze, the best glaze when you do any type of dough for that matter, it's 1 egg plus 1 egg yolk to get. So I take 1 egg here and I remove maybe 1/3 of the egg white. So that gives me about the same proportion here. The egg white will make it shiny and the egg yolk will make it brown, you know. And that will go into the oven like 400, 375, 400 for a good 30, 40 minutes, you know, 40 minutes probably. And that's it. I'm putting that in the oven. You know, the secret with the choux is that when you cook them, they inflate like this. If you open the door all the time, they may start deflating. And also, particularly at the end of the cooking time, if you take them out, they are cooked beautiful. You put them outside, you have air conditioning and all that, they get moisture in. So, you know, often I leave the door open. Sometimes I put a spoon. The door open of my oven is shut off, and I let it cool off, you know, in the oven a little bit till it dries out. In a professional kitchen, it's always kind of hot and around, so it's perfect situation, but not at home. The inside, you can see here. See, this is the perfect way, the way it should be inside. And often I have heard people who remove this when they say, oh, we have to remove this, that's not cooked. Of course this is cooked. Just like noodle is cooked. Noodle is soft, but it's cooked. That dough is cooked here, and that's a good part of it. So this, we're going to stuff it with a little bit of a good jam, you know, in the bottom of it, like this. And then whipped cream, which conventionally, you know, you're going to do with of course, a pastry bag, but at home, my mother would never use a pastry bag. I don't even think she had a pastry bag. It was just piled up. This was at the real choux à la crème. We call that crème chantilly, which is whipped cream, a little dash of vanilla in it, and a dash of sugar. That's about it. So here, you put your cap back on top of it, and maybe a little bit of powdered sugar on top, even if you want. Like those, you know, like the snow in winter. And I have a chocolate sauce here, which is classic. The chocolate sauce, chocolate, like half a pound of chocolate and a cup and a half of milk. You put that in the microwave oven, heat it up. So bring it from the center here. And the choux on top of it. And this is the very classic choux à la crème with chocolate sauce. This is another recipe with a cream puff dough, exactly the same dough that I did for the choux, a little more of it. It's the Chocolate Paris-Brest. The Paris-Brest refers to a bicycle race from Paris to Brest. So they did it in the shape of the wheel of the bicycle. So what you do, you want to do a ring. So about 8 inches at least, you do 3 rings. This one I finish here, so you don't want to do the seam in the same place because it will tend to crack at the seam. So the second ring, and then a third ring on top. Whoop. Sometimes you have air bubble in there. Okay, this is what I have here. And then you want to brush that with a wash, the same wash, with eggs. Sometimes I even mark it with a fork like this. Again, use it in the wash so it doesn't stick. To make like, you know, the bark of a tree. You know, that type of effect. Just slice almond. This will inflate considerably, you know, like the choux. The choux really get large. And that's all there is to it. You put it into the oven, 375, 400 degrees, about 30 minutes. At that point, you'll have to lower the heat to 350 for another 30, 35, 40 minutes for it to be really cooked. And that's it. Not only the Paris-Brest cooked there, but it's been cooling off for a while, you know, because it needs to cool off. I'm going to garnish it with whipped cream. I have whipped cream here, and I put a bit of dark rum in there, some dark rum and sugar. So I will do a garnish of that in there. I have a pastry bag. Now your Paris-Brest here, you want to put it together, well, not much more than an hour, 2 hours before you do it. And what I do, I go right through with a kind of knife like this one, which is a serrated knife, you know, to open it. Oh yeah, I start right here. So you can see this is the cover, and this is all of the inside, just the way it should be, you know, with the dough like this. But I'm going to press that in and fill it up with the pastry cream, with the chocolate cream, you know. I'm going to decorate the top, the rest of it, with the whipped cream. Go. I have a bit left over. Can put it in the center of it. What I want to show you here is important. It's very difficult to cut through it. It's a pain in the neck to cut through it. So what I do, I cut this in portion, like this, you know. So I put it back next to it so you don't even see that it's cut. Here. See, the beauty of it is that now when you have to cut it, you go right through one of the place where it's cut, and you have no problem cutting it. Okay. And this is the Chocolate Paris-Brest. You know, most of the work involved in those classic desserts can be done ahead. And because the more organized you are, and the more that you prepare ahead, the better the meal will come together. Happy cooking! Happy cooking!